Welcome to the digestive system. Here's a nacho with melted cheese. It has protein, lipids, and carbohydrates in it. This guy's gonna eat the nacho with his mouth. Mechanical digestion occurs in the mouth, where teeth chew the food, and the tongue forms it into a bolus in the back of the mouth. While this is happening, salivary glands produce saliva, which has salivary amylase in it, which breaks down carbohydrates into simpler sugars. This is a form of chemical digestion. After this happens, the bolus passes into the pharynx, where the epiglottis prevents it from passing down the trachea and keeps it headed into the esophagus. Then a wave of contractions called peristalsis move the food down the esophagus to the pyloric sphincter, where it's squirted into the stomach. The stomach lining produces hydrochloric acid, which starts to break down the food, chemical digestion, and pepsin, which specifically breaks down proteins via chemical digestion. The food is also churned here, which is another form of mechanical digestion. The food is now called acid chyme, and it is squirted into the duodenum of the small intestine. Here is where the rest of digestion occurs. The liver produces bile, which is stored in the gallbladder and meets the food in the small intestine and specifically breaks down lipids, while the pancreas produces pancreatic enzymes, which also meet the food in the small intestine and break down the other macromolecules. Now the food travels through the rest of the small intestine, where most of the nutrient absorption occurs. Here, villi, built by even smaller microvilli, increase the surface area of the side of the small intestine to allow the maximum absorption of nutrients. The food finally makes its way into the large intestine, or colon. In the colon, most of the water absorption occurs. The food passes through the colon, and as the water's drawn out, feces are formed. Finally, feces become solid stools in the rectum and pass out of the anus. You have now digested a nacho with melted cheese.